Anyone gearing up to buying the latest iPhone 14 Pro or iPhone Pro Max for Christmas better stop and take a deep breath, because Apple has warned to expect longer wait times to receive its latest products ahead of the holiday season. Because of China's strict zero-COVID policy, the tech giant has announced that its production facility in Zhengzhou, the world's largest iPhone factory, has been locked down. Apple said the assembly plant, operated by Foxconn, is producing at significantly reduced capacity, adding to the grim picture. China's exports slumped 0.3% in October, their sharpest decline since May 2020. All right, for more on this, let's bring in tech analyst Ivan Lam in Hong Kong and correspondent Fabian Kretschmer in Beijing. Fabian, let me start with you. What can you tell us about the conditions and the situation at the Foxconn plant in Zhengzhou?
Yeah, the plant is also called iPhone City because it produces roughly 80% of the newest iPhone generation, and it's also as big as a city. I mean, with up to 300,000 workers there. And when Zhengzhou basically went into lockdown, the authorities implemented a closed-loop management on the production side. Closed loop, that means that the workers basically can only move from their dormitory to the work site. So it's really harsh conditions. And on social media, we've seen a lot of posts stating by workers that the medical conditions are not sufficient. Some were even fearing like not enough food supply. So what happened is that several thousand workers, they were fleeing. They left the production site because they didn't want to work there anymore. Also out of panic that the virus might spread within this closed loop management. And Foxconn so far has even offered a recruitment bonus for any worker that would return.
Ivan, over to you in Hong Kong. Demand for high-end smartphones has helped Apple remain a bright spot in an otherwise battered technology sector. What does this reduction in output now mean for Apple?
So for Apple, that this few weeks, disturbing news to them will be like reduce their output, and then as Apple said, they already lower the expectation from the consumer, and then the output may be extended for some dealers and some own channel shipments. But this output still only for the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, but for the 14 and 14 Plus, it's not affect too much.
Ivan, is this then the situation that Apple is experiencing now? Is this a boon for Apple's competitors?
To me, I think for the competitors, it's not actually a boom, because currently the overall smartphone OEMs are facing the same situation, that the macro headwinds and also the dim demand from the consumer side. So Apple still can maintain their position on the high end.
Fabian, back to you in Beijing. Chinese exports are down for the first time since mid-2020. What are the prospects of the zero-COVID strategy that Beijing has been pursuing, of that strategy being eased?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the trade numbers are really disappointing, and they are a proof to what degree zero COVID is hurting the economy. However, on Saturday, the National Health Commission gave a press conference clearly stating that the country will stick to zero COVID. But let me tell you, the numbers are, the infection numbers are as high as, early May. I mean, the biggest rise in infections since basically half a year. So it's entirely possible that the virus at some point will force an opening up. There's really a critical timing. We can see that also in Beijing, more and more residential compounds are put under lockdown, and really it is questionable if China can again contain the spread of the virus or not. Yeah.
Correspondent Fabian Kretschmer in Beijing and tech analyst Ivan Lam in Hong Kong. Thank you to you both.